Welcome to this episode of Social Chatter. My name is Christian Karasevich. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Vincent Orlick. Here with me today, we're going to talk about what is new, what's hot in social media marketing and social media news this week, and also give you some really helpful tools and some tips that can help you as a business owner continue to get more value out of putting social to work or helping you get more efficient with what you do on your social media channels. So we'll give you all just a couple of quick housekeeping tips. At any point, if you have any questions on anything, you are totally welcome to tweet us. For example, let's start over. You're able to leave those in the comments here off to the right. You can put /Q if you have a question. We'll see that. You can also send us a couple of tweets if you like. And I'm just going to put a couple of these in here. So we've got that one. My Twitter handle, we've got Mr. Vincent Orlick here. We've got Social Chefs, which is my brand that I've put together. And we also have hashtag Social Chatter, actually, for the Blab. So you can do hashtag Social Chatter and also hashtag Blab, and Blab will usually retweet us. So with that, I want to say welcome. It's almost the end of the week. And we got a lot to talk about today, don't we?
Again, another week with tons of updates.
Massive updates today. Where do you want to start today, by the way? Do you want to start? I think we're mostly skewed towards Facebook and Twitter today, but which one do you want to start with?
Let's jump into Facebook.
Okay, Facebook. Let's kick that one off. So let's start off with Facebook's new automatic alternative text we talked about. And I'm going to get a link here for everybody.
Basically, it's really similar to what we talked about with Twitter last week.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and tell the audience, what exactly is this? Like, what is Facebook automatic alternative text? I mean, that's a mouthful to say.
Yeah, it's assistive text. I mean, again, that's how they're marketing it for impaired viewers that are potentially deaf viewers that can't hear. This automatic alternative text that's you enter when you put a post or post up, it will help people of that nature that cannot hear what's going on. They can read what's going on.
Okay.
Twitter did the same thing. There's also some other implications that we talked about last week with Twitter's implementation of it with SEO potentially. Since now the difference is tweets are now back to being indexed by Google.
Mm-hmm.
And so now with Facebook, though, Facebook posts are not Google indexed.
However, Facebook notes are, I believe.
Notes are.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully.
They're getting there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the idea. But honestly, the idea for Facebook is always stay within Facebook. So I think they're operating under the kind of the pretense that everything's in there. So when you're searching in the graph search,
mm-hmm.
that's when a lot of this stuff will come up. So the text that's being entered in on these posts is not text that will show up as part of the status update. It will show up on the post, on the image, on the video itself.
Okay. Are these something that people are going to have to are they going to have to go and fill this out, or how's that going to work? Because remember, with Twitter, you get 420 characters for a description, which is pretty amazing. I mean,
right.
Do they have to do that for Facebook as well?
I mean, you're going to have to put in that text for sure. So I don't know. I mean, it's different than Twitter.
Right.
It's definitely different than how Twitter is working. And a lot of it does have to do with the fact that one is available outside of its own network and one is not.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So with that, I mean, let's just talk real quickly about this. So if I'm a business, should I enter this information? I mean, I think yes. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, always. I mean, it's not going to hurt, and for the amount of time that it's going to take, it's not going to be that much of a hindrance to your time in that you're devoting to your social channels.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be worth it.
Got it. Now, and I completely agree with you. I mean, it's a very minute amount of time. I mean, that you got to put into this, to add a description to your photos, and not to mention, I mean, the other thing you have to kind of look at is you're going to have the potential to reach a much broader audience, because right now, if you're just pushing out your content and you don't have that because you don't, by including this, you have the potential then to reach other people that might not know about your business. And so in this case, this is going to give you a very good opportunity to reach them. So it's worth taking, what is it, a couple seconds? I mean, just well worth it. So, by the way, I just noticed this really cool pin and open feature on Blab.
What's that?
So okay. So anything that has a hyperlink, if you hover, apparently I'm hovering over it and it gives me a pin option and an open option. Mm-hmm. And so I can pin something. So let me pin the top one. Does that do anything?
Not that I'm seeing on my side.
Okay. Well, I'll take a screen cap of it. I'll show you what it is, but pretty neat. Basically, so I can pin it or have people click it and open it. But yeah.
Well, and while you're doing that with this whole this side of it too with Facebook, it's also for the it's really primarily for the visually impaired. I think I said audio impaired before,
right.
But it's actually more for visually impaired, because it's going to talk it's going to talk back to you and tell you what it's seeing. So there is a recognition aspect to what it's seeing.
Mm-hmm. So I would say, I mean, here's the thing: takeaway for everyone that's watching. You definitely want to spend the time entering this information. It's going to be available likely when you're going to upload the photo. And, if you don't have it there, I mean, it's just like, if you upload any sort of photo to your blog, or your website, you want to make sure you give your image a name. So name it appropriately. Right now, it, for instance, probably isn't going to get indexed by, Facebook and show up in like Google search. But if you take the time to do it now, I think that down the road, when they do decide to, if they decide they want to index a Facebook post, for example, you've already kind of done the things you probably need to do. So, give your images an appropriate name, put in the description, put in the automatic alternative text. It's quite a mouthful, man. And, and then at that point, you're going to have the opportunity to reach a bigger audience, and you're going to also have started to optimize some of your content. So don't forget to do that. So I'm going to keep moving here, by the way. I'm going to move to topic number 2. You good with that?
Yes.
Okay. So topic number 2, and this is not the big one for the week, even though we thought it was really the big one. Facebook apparently is removing the 20% text rule. And that's pretty big. I mean, that's if you're an advertiser. So basically what people used to be able to do.
Accessibility. Back button. Alert. Important. Okay. Button.
Just my phone.
No worries at all, man. So basically the gist of this is, previously if you ran Facebook ads, you had to be very concerned about the amount of text that you put on your images. Right. Otherwise, Facebook would kick your ad back, or at some point they do kick it back at the beginning, or they kick it back at some point, and you basically wouldn't be able to run your ad. And so now, if they, again, it's sort of hearsay, but it seems like they've removed it. If you include more than 20% text, they're not going to kick your ad back. That's really good. However, you do have to keep in mind with Facebook ads, if you do start to put more text onto your images, because you have the ability to do that now, it is going to potentially lower your reach, because Facebook's also trying to get into showing better ads. So, if you're being somewhat spammy with your ads, and just trying to really just put so much text in there, that's not something you're going to want to, continue to do, but you're going to have the opportunity, at least now, to not have to worry, I got to get just enough, text in there. So I would recommend, if you're a business owner and you're running Facebook ads and you're like, hey, I always ran into issues before running Facebook ads and getting them kicked back because I had, just a little bit extra text. Mm-hmm. What you want to do now is you want to, you'll have the opportunity to increase the size of your text, but, don't monopolize like your image. You still want a good balance of text and imagery with your Facebook ad. So pretty simple takeaway there. You have anything you want to say about that one?
Just that it was always so confusing because people wouldn't know wouldn't know what was 20% and all that. They'd have to wait for it to get rejected to know that it was even close. So with this, at least, you'll get the warnings. You'll get the warnings, but at least you'll still be able to place your ad and at your own risk, like you mentioned. And let people spend their money however they want to spend it. If they think, basically that's what Facebook's doing in a way, is
right.
But they're telling you, yeah, you're gonna get penalized and not really get the most bang for your buck if you're not doing it the way that we recommend and have seen to work.
And this is actually a really good point. You just made an excellent point, actually. We're talking about how Facebook kind of has a way that they recommend doing things. And I'm going to actually jump into our third topic, actually. And by the way, Vince and I, we had so many topics, we couldn't decide what to do. So we basically are sandwiching a bunch of Facebook topics with a bunch of Twitter topics to give you a whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch of really great social media news this week. So this next one is probably, I'd say this is one of the biggest things for the week. Facebook has made some huge improvements to live video. And if you have, if you've been thinking about doing live video, and you kind of shied away from it, it is pretty amazing what this new feature or what all these new features are going to do. They're opening so many doors for you as a business owner. So I'm going to give you just a quick rundown on what all has happened. And Vincent, I'm going to let Vincent drive this one. So basically, the gist of it is Facebook Live Video now gives you live video for groups, live video for events. So basically, you can go to a Facebook group or an event and broadcast live from your mobile device. It's also going to add live reactions, replay comments, live filters. So you can, for example, if you're in the middle of giving a live video, you can see all the reactions coming through and you can immediately respond to people. Again, this is pretty amazing. You're doing it from the palm of your hand, from your mobile device. And then they're also going to give you some really good discovery tools. And these are some of the ones that I'm really excited about because previously when you did live video, you had to be, either somebody with a verified account or, a very influential person. But now they're giving this to everyone to kind of let you be the creator of, whatever it is you create or what you sell. And they're doing this by giving you options to invite friends. You can create a live video destination and you can do a live map. The benefit of these features is that you're going to be able to make it easier for people to connect with you and to tune in for the moment that you have going on, whatever it is you're doing. I think I got everything there, right? Right, Vincent?
Yeah, I think you got everything. It sounded like you got everything. And basically, they watched what Periscope did for a year, and some of the other networks, the other platforms, I should say, for live streaming, and took some of those elements because they knew that they're Facebook, and all they have to do is turn it on, basically, and people will use it. Have you tried using it yet?
I've tried it briefly. I was running into some issues yesterday. I didn't have the feature for instance, groups. If I went to, for instance, the Groups app, you could go and write a post and there would be a live video feature. I just got that just about an hour ago. But there is another way you can also access it. You can go and I think it's you click on video from the Facebook app. And then there's an option to join by live video. And then you'll have the ability there to even say, hey, I want to broadcast this into a Facebook group. So
yeah, that was my issue yesterday. I was trying to get into it. So I opened the Groups app and went to a group and it pulled it up like it was about to do it. And then it said, error, cannot do it right now. So then I went onto the Facebook app itself and pulled up the group there. And then it did come up with the little live stream icon when I went to do, if I did, a post, like went to start a post, the little live stream icon popped up on the little toolbar there, and it worked. It worked.
So what do you think about it so far? I mean, do you think you're going to use it?
Oh yeah. So some of the questions that, because I used it for our company, there's a pretty, well, not super large group. There's about 300 or so members in the group of some of our top reps.
Right.
and I'm in there too. So I immediately in the morning I let them know about the news, number one, because they've been asking for it. They've basically this can replace the other tools that people pay for or have trouble with, have extreme trouble with. Yeah.
So okay, let me let you talk about that real quick, because this is obviously like probably gonna be one of the biggest topics we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So elaborate on that. Like, what are some of the
huge
tools, for example?
Well, Google Hangouts. A lot of people like using Google Hangouts as private, and will have group functions in there and have meetings and things.
Okay, so
which is free.
So let me stop you there. Okay, so if somebody's going to do Google Hangouts right now, they do private ones. So with Facebook Live Video, you can broadcast into a group. You can broadcast events, and I believe there's also the feature for letting you hold. I think it was the live maps, or sorry, the live video destination feature. Mm-hmm. If I understood that correctly.
Go ahead.
You basically could. So basically, I think you could set like who could actually join your live video. Did I get that right?
There's a whole lot of different things involved. Yeah, I mean they rolled out it's 6 different pieces of it.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. That's actually what I meant. Sorry. So basically, what you can do now is you can select the friends you want to invite to your live video. So you get some privacy options there.
Which is different from the groups, I think. I mean, that's just a matter of who you want to bring in to like a normal live video that you would have with the groups. So here's the thing, and just to finish up on the other point with the groups, there's Google Hangouts, which a lot of people have trouble with. A lot of people, it's clunky. There's different links to invite people. People, they try to access it through one link, and that one is not the one to participate. It's just the one to watch. For all the benefits it has, where it will auto record to your YouTube channel, mm-hmm. and it's again, part of Google if you want it to be, part of being searched.
Right.
It's so clunky for a lot of people. Not for everybody, but for a lot of people, it's so clunky that's why something like Blab is very much favored by a lot of people over Hangouts. Mm-hmm. There's other paid tools that people use. Even something like Skype, which is free or paid, credits, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. There's an app called Zoom. Zoom is out there that's very, very popular with teams and meetings and that sort of thing. It's not super expensive at all.
Right.
And I do still think that it's still ahead of Facebook groups live streaming because of the functionality that you can do. You can see everybody. It's true video conferencing. Mm-hmm. It's not the whole monologue aspect. It's more of a dialogue aspect. So it's everyone. You can mute people, or you can bring them into the conversation. Same thing with Hangouts, right? Mm-hmm. You can screen share. You can do presentations and show what you need to show. So I think those still have a place until Facebook figures out if that's the road they're going to go down. I don't know. But as a way to communicate, say you're the leader of a team, where it's not something where you need to present to them,
right?
Show them slides or anything. It's just a pure communication tool, or taking a tour of something, or at an event, you want to broadcast that event. So you could use Periscope, or you could use Facebook Live. You could use both.
Right.
You can use both and just broaden that audience even more. Mm-hmm. The likelihood of people seeing it on Facebook right now, it seems, is higher.
Yeah.
And it's different audiences. We all know that. There's a lot of people. We're not the norm.
Right.
People on Facebook all the time and that are tweeting all the time. It's not the norm at all. There's people that if they're on Facebook, there's so many people on Facebook that just do not use Twitter. Mm-hmm. They do not use it.
It's funny that's one thing with Blab, for instance. Like when I have to log into Blab and I have to log into Twitter, I don't mind doing it. But there's so many people that are like, "Hey, I could join your Blab." I get a lot of email subscribers that respond back. I'm not on Twitter. I couldn't join Blab. Okay. At least you can watch, but not really interact. So. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be really fascinating. I think as far as this this whole feature goes. I was actually speaking with somebody yesterday for an article they were writing. We were talking about this whole Facebook Live video thing, and I see so much potential for businesses with this.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, but it's still going to come, I'm going to go back to that point we talked about a minute ago on the previous topic, but I see so much potential for businesses. I mean, you can use this for pretty much anything. I mean, I'm now waiting for, like Facebook needs to come out with like a GoPro type camera to be able to stream through that as well.
Or just tie into GoPro, like Meerkat. Right. That was one of the things that Meerkat came out with during their year of, existence almost, is they tied right into GoPro. They did a thing with GoPro where you could stream your video right into a GoPro camera. I mean, you could do for businesses. I mean, there's, like you said, there's so many different things. One small thing you could do as a business owner, give your customers
a viewing company.
Yeah, we'll give them special access. Like certain customers, if you do this and this, then you have access to this group on Facebook that you as the business owner maintain. And now you have this outlet where you can go on video, and it's, I don't know that it's a half hour, right? But certainly you could jump on, throw a video up. One of the things that did come up, so when I was testing it out, I was walking around the office testing it out, which I didn't think about until we were in the middle of it. Yeah. Because the group I was in, I'm not an admin.
Right. This is the little kicker. Yeah, this is the part that.
So it's if you're in a group where it's the admins have it set where posts have to be approved by admins, then the video will not go live in the group until they do that. So there's a little bit of communication beforehand that you probably want to have if you're not the admin of a group.
So we kind of have to look at this from two different angles. I guess if I'm the admin of a group, this is a great feature for me to use. I should incorporate this as part of my social media strategy for how I'm using Facebook groups in my business. Yeah. This is, you're not just putting out blog content nowadays. It's, such as, hey, go read my blog, go check out my video. Now I can actually literally live stream something and say, hey, for instance, in your case, you could live stream stuff at your office and reach all of the people that are, that are part of your company, right? That aren't your employees. If I, this is probably the hardest part, I think, for most people to swallow, which is with Facebook groups and the new live video feature, anyone can broadcast into a group. And as you mentioned, if somebody is managing the group and they have it where the posts don't show up, they have to be approved. That's one little sticking point. But the other thing is, if you are running a group and it's a public group, or, for instance, if your group is just a very broad group about a basic topic, your feed in your group is just gonna get overrun with people running live video.
So make sure to set it so that you have to approve every post.
Absolutely. And, it's that, but then also, and this was kind of what we talked about about the article they were writing. That's going to be one part, but at the same time, you also are going to have to, set some rules in your group too, as well. If you haven't put in the description, if you've just said, hey, no posting links, no posting this, make sure you add Facebook Live video to that, because otherwise your group is just going to be just overrun with that. And this gets back. So here's the main point that I kind of wanted to get back to. So you talked about this earlier. We talked about the quality of Facebook ads, right? And how Facebook wants you to, they give you guidelines of things they want you to do. So if you are running a Facebook group and you have, a lot of people think, well, hey, I need the biggest group. This is where it's going to come back to bite you. So people that have built up, huge Facebook pages, huge Facebook groups that really don't know who their customers are, but they have a big group. You're going to want to really start to, focus on who those people are that are part of your group, and get to know them, because that, I think, is going to be the key thing to getting them to tune into your broadcast, getting people to, not spam your group, for example. So if you kind of maintain tight control over your group of who you allow in, basically, if you have to approve all your members, you have to approve all the content and that sort of thing. Yeah. Keep the group small, because if you have a huge group, now everyone's going to start dumping a bunch of work on you. They're going to say, hey, let me put my live video in there. Oh, Vincent's got to go approve it because he's got a group. Hey, let me overrun this public group because they aren't really moderating it appropriately. Yeah. So you are going to have to really take some time and adjust your strategy for groups. In the long run, though, the potential, it's just enormous. There's so much that you can do with these beyond just groups. You've got events. What else? You can tie this into pretty much any part of a business.
Well, the brand pages, don't forget, a few weeks back.
Yeah.
Brand pages, they gave functionality on business pages to go live.
And you access that through the Pages Manager app. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you do that, I mean, you can set an event up through your business page, and now even just through that event, you can broadcast to the. So the event is a little different because the event, I don't think, wouldn't go to your whole page. It wouldn't go to. It just goes to the people that have indicated. And I have to check on this, but I wonder if it goes to everyone that has been invited, or those that have just indicated that they're interested, or those that have indicated that they're going, or what. Like, I wonder who it all goes to in the event itself.
I think that the event thing is going to be interesting. And this is actually part of the conversation as well. Like, we talked about how there needs to be some sort of option within any of these features. So, for example, if I'm doing something in a Facebook group, if I'm doing something within an event, there needs to be some sort of control mechanism, almost to like, like for instance, like right now, and I'm kind of getting sidetracked here, but groups. For example, like you have one option: I either approve all the posts or I don't approve them. It almost needs to be either like you can approve certain types of content. So, for example, photos and videos and link posts and live video, like kind of separate them that way, or to say, hey, Vincent, I need individual toggles for certain people, and I realize that's getting very granular, but giving away, if I'm a group, like to approve certain people that, hey, I don't have to like always moderate their content because I know that they're going to follow the rules and whatnot. Putting that into perspective with events, I think it's the same way. Like if you're possibly doing an event, I mean, it almost seems to be like you need one on both ends. You need one for the person creating the event, and you need something for the individual saying, hey, I don't want to be invited to, Facebook live video, for instance, or disable Facebook live video, for instance, on this particular, notifications or something. Right.
Right.
So I've got a lot. I'm actually putting together a really big article on this on Facebook live video. I mean, I love this. I actually even had a really great conversation today about this. And one suggestion that, I said, they asked me, they're like, what's the direction that everything is going? This is what I actually think is going to be happening, because like Facebook's moved to this. You've got Twitter moving to Periscope. You've got Snapchat. I think that we might not be creating as much content actually. Like, for instance, taking time to write blog content. I think that you're going to probably see more people start to create and start to broadcast via, for instance, a Facebook Live video. What do you think of it?
I agree. I agree, and it's going to make it easier.
Huh?
It's going to make it easier. It's going to make it easier to create content in that way because the acceptance of the live video. That's not necessarily pre-produced, although it could be. Obviously it could be. But if you're able to use it to show off that content, that video content, then that's gonna kind of be the hub and the center, and that piece of video can then be turned into a lot of things
because
the content.
Absolutely, because remember when you create a live video, it's, for instance, like Blab right now. We create this. It's a video. It's a product that we have afterwards, and what we do is we put it up on a YouTube channel. We put it in a blog post. You'll be able to take, for instance, live video, and this is actually something I'm going to talk about next week when I'm talking about Facebook Notes. So I'm not going to reveal too much about this, but you can now take your live video, and hey, if somebody tunes in now, awesome. If they don't tune in now, they will have a link to a replay that they can use, and then what can you do? Well, you can put that in a blog post. I'm sure, very certain you'll be able to, I haven't tested this yet, but I'm very certain you'll be able to embed a Facebook Live video replay, just like you can, you can embed, a Facebook post, you can embed, a photo, like, you've got all these different, Facebook video, you can embed all these different things in a blog. I'm sure that you're going to be able to take all those elements and have everything, right there.
Well, because even right now, it just shows up as a post. It shows up as a video post. So you can already embed a video post. Yep, absolutely. So it's probably just the same way that you would do it now. It's just you take the post, you click on that little option for it, and do it.
Absolutely. I I'm so excited. I mean, honestly, we could have had an entire blab just about Facebook Live video.
Which is funny that we're doing a blab about Facebook Live video. It's an important distinction to make still. You know, it's because Blab still does offer, like we talked about, the dialogue side. You know, we're connected. There's multiple people in here. You know, it's us right now, but there's multiple people that we're connecting real time. Whereas Facebook Live is still much more akin to a Periscope feed, where it's monologue. You know, you're getting the comments from people, certainly, but it's still you're on camera, or what your phone is facing is on camera. It's not really the true back and forth. At least I've never thought it was. I've never thought that Periscope was the true like interaction. I get that there is interaction, but it's still in the form of people are writing comments and you have to like look at them, respond to them. It's not one-on-one, face-to-face.
Sure.
Like this is.
Right. And that's one thing that, you know, it's so interesting you bring that point up, because that's something I've been thinking about a lot, you know, as Facebook Live videos come up and whatnot. You and I talked about this, what was it, a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about another, what was it? Were we talking about Facebook Live video? I think we were.
Probably with the brand pages, with the business page.
So we were talking about that. And the part that I find I'm still like, okay, I want to stay on Blab because the alternatives are not there. Like Google Hangouts, you know, it's spotty. It works fairly well, but, you know, it is spotty. Facebook Live video, for instance, right now is not, you know, all of us conversing, you know, together. It's one person. You've got Periscope, same feature, Snapchat, same feature. Like you've got all, you know, and no one's going to go in and use some of the more expensive paid tools to set up like video conferencing or something like that, because the tools are already there with other sites and whatnot. So until Facebook moves to that, I mean, I love the fact that, you know, we're on camera here and we're talking to one another, you know, and that we can bring other people in. I mean, so I think they're both, I think they both should be tools in your social media toolbox. So,
and the bigger idea, maybe to put a capper on it, is it's still Facebook taking elements from what is working for someone else. They definitely have a huge direction they want to go in. Zuckerberg's even said it multiple times with live video. And they took the aspects of Periscope. Like you mentioned, the map. The map is only available on desktop right now, but there's a link you can go to and see a map of all the live streams that are happening right at that moment, just like Periscope has in their app, and click on city, by state, by whatever. So that's a direct take from Periscope. There's even the ability to react on the feeds. So people can select heart or like or wow or haha to indicate their reaction to the feed. Everybody doesn't quite have that yet. There's a couple elements that everybody doesn't have yet either. And there's some others like the analytics side. That's only still for the Mentions app, from what I understand. So if you're a celebrity verified account, you have the Mentions app and you live stream using Mentions, Facebook provides you with analytics. And the reach on those is even bigger as far as the number of viewers you get. It seems to be like huge numbers, which makes sense. But for what they're doing now, there's not really analytics, which isn't surprising because it's on personal groups and things like that. They usually don't provide analytics for that.
No, I mean that's actually interesting. I actually wonder, do you think, I don't think this will happen, but do you think that Facebook would actually try to monetize this live video feature by offering potentially, like, you know, let's give analytics to somebody and charge them X amount of dollars, like almost make you pay to get the analytics? I don't think they're going to do it, but I mean, you know.
No, you know what? I mean, it opens up the door. I mean, I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I could definitely imagine down the road where they make it available to the admins of a group to, if they want to pay a certain amount for almost like an ad right now, like you pay for a Facebook ad, if they want to be able to reach their group, a certain way that you can pay to do that, and it's guaranteed a certain number of impressions.
Mhm.
Or more importantly, on the business page side, I could definitely see that happening, where you, as the brand, the business, you place it like you would an ad.
Right.
So you select who your audience is that you want to reach,
Mm-hmm.
all the demographics, the interests that just the same exact way you would do it in Power Editor, let's say.
Right.
But the content is a live video stream.
Mm-hmm.
And you're guaranteed, or they're telling you that you're paying to reach that specific audience that you select, and it shows you, well, this is the potential audience, 18 million, or, and you're paying for it. That I could definitely see that down the road.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, I think, to see. I mean, you're still going to want to do Facebook ads. I mean, this is going to be crazy. Just, I think overall, just seeing Facebook ads for live video. I mean, I don't think that's been announced really. And I know there's
I'm guessing. I mean, I can totally imagine them doing that though.
I mean, it makes logical sense that they would do that. But overall, I mean, it's like just thinking about that. I mean, to be able to pay to promote on live video, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and you have to think Periscope and Twitter. I mean, they're probably. There's no way I just thought of that, and I was the first person to ever think of that right now on a blab at 2:30 Pacific time. Like there's much smarter people at Twitter and Facebook that I'm sure, as this has been rolling out, and Twitter and Periscope have been doing it, and Facebook's doing it, like their vision is to monetize it, at least for the business pages, for the brand pages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be really fascinating. I think to watch this whole thing evolve, because, and I have to say, these updates they're crazy how fast they're coming. I mean,
unbelievable.
It's like we got one little update, and then we got a huge update. Like, this is huge, and it's like you don't think like, oh, they can't get any bigger or do anything better. Like, and then they come out with this. It's like, wow.
Yeah, this is what a lot of people were waiting for. So, and then the other one that we're going to talk about, I think, is that with the Twitter partnership with the NFL is another, like, that's a huge deal.
So do you want to jump into that one actually while I'll put links in here for everybody, but talk about the Twitter partnership, and then we'll go into the last topic.
Yeah.
So tell people about this one. So what's going on?
Twitter partnered with the NFL for Thursday night football games this upcoming season. They're going to be broadcasting in full each game on Thursday night, 10 games, which that's not a full season, but that's the number of Thursday night games that there are.
Right.
Typically. So the way that it's been in the past is the NFL has broadcast them, started on the NFL Network only, and people complained about that because then they were forced to buy the NFL Network or to go out somewhere to watch it. Then it moved to like a mix of the NFL Network and CBS. Mm-hmm. So that was a little better. And then last year, for the first time, the NFL partnered with a platform, and it was Yahoo, to live stream a game, and it was between two horrible teams late in the season, and it didn't get quite the ratings or the retention that it normally would. But I think there were other factors involved. It had nothing to do with the live stream itself. I watched it. It was I have a Wi-Fi router in my house. It was super early in the morning. I think it was like 6:30 in the morning Pacific time,
right,
or Mountain time, whichever it was at the time. Probably Pacific, same as Pacific time. Really early in the morning. Even for East Coast, it would have been like 9:30 a.m., which East Coast is not used to watching football at 9:30 a.m. in mornings, right?
Right.
Yeah. So the thing that I just heard is that yesterday they only paid $10 million Twitter for these rights.
Yeah.
To 10 games. Total $10 million. $1 million a game.
That's not bad.
That's nothing. And the NFL, they've now sold that game a couple times over. So they've made money off of 3 different places. But they'll get more exposure because all you need now is a Wi-Fi connection, a mobile device, and the free Twitter app. And you can watch that game anywhere. So it adds exposure for that Thursday night game. It makes it accessible to really anyone. But for Twitter, I mean, it is way more benefit for Twitter. Yeah, 10 million, another 10 million for the NFL is great, but that's like a drop in the bucket for them. They're not doing it on the money, and that's probably why they gave it so cheap, because they want it. They're kind of testing it out, I think, and there's nothing certain about how it's going to work.
Right.
But I do think it's going to be. I think it's going to work. Like, it's going to be a bigger deal, especially as the season goes on, and more people are aware of it, and are like, well, where can I watch the game? Oh, I don't have NFL Network, or I don't even have cable. Oh, I can watch it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And then the other side with Twitter, the two things that I wrote about this week were Twitter's the user base growth.
Mm-hmm.
I think is going to happen, because you're going to have a lot of people that are not on Twitter,
right,
that are going to just have an account just for that purpose. So they're going to grow some accounts,
mm-hmm.
and the influx of money to them through ad revenue.
Yeah.
So now they can go out and sell. They can sell ads around that game. They know they have 10 games for the year, 1 per week for this certain amount of weeks,
mm-hmm.
and they know what time it is and everything. Like they have these events now. They're not used to that. You see them produce content and kind of change the platform around for things like the World Cup or so NFL. They actually had already partnered with the NFL as their official highlight social media platform for highlights. But this is expanding that in a huge way. So it's huge for Twitter. It really is. The other thing is, for the brand itself, I mean, they can say that they beat out Facebook, Amazon, and Yahoo for the rights to this. And if they're the first on the scene, it's only a 1-year deal. So I'm going to be curious to see if it works, if the NFL then makes it exclusive, or Twitter tries to get something exclusive with the NFL, or if the NFL is like, well, thanks, Twitter, we're going to go jump on Facebook with this and live stream it there. So there's a lot to it. It's a big deal. Again, that news got a little, it still had some legs, but it got a little bit drowned out by the Facebook announcement.
Yeah.
With the group's live video and the event's live video.
I would say that absolutely. I mean, it was pretty amazing. But when that came out, I mean, it was just, it was like, oh, this is really awesome. I see so much potential in this deal. I mean, just long term, like you mentioned. It's interesting that it literally had its 30 seconds of fame, and then all of a sudden it was okay. Now it's Facebook Live video.
Yeah. Oh, and meanwhile, Christian, just so you know, I've been live streaming.
Oh, cool.
On Facebook Live, so I'm going to turn it off right now. So thanks to the folks that were watching there, and turn it off. So thanks, guys. And there's Christian.
Very cool, man. That was good. Where was that? Social Media Phoenix, or was that just
on my page? On my page.
Very nice.
See how it comes out.
Very cool. So what do we got? I think we got one more topic, right? Just a couple of tools after that. So let's
go for it.
Let's talk about that last topic. So this is pretty big news. Twitter inline direct messages. We're gonna put that here in the chat for everybody. But basically, Twitter inline direct messages, instead of having to compose a tweet and figure out how you send a direct message, because in most cases, most users do not know how. Do you use D or DM? Make sure you put the space there, that sort of stuff. There's literally going to be a button. And you got to remember, if you accidentally don't put the space, your stuff goes out public. So in this case, basically, you're going to be able to easily share tweets privately. Very simple. You're going to have a button within your tweet. There's actually a really nice animated GIF on this page as well. You can tap on it, and it's basically going to then let you send a direct message from that tweet. So pretty simple. You're going to basically go to the tweet. There's going to be let me find a little icon actually real quick. So there's going to be a little envelope, I think that is. Somebody's going to tap on it. You're going to say send tweet to the person, and it's going to then create a message off of it. So really awesome, really easy. They're also going to add more ways again, their whole thing is they want to make direct messages, everything else, like it's going to be another chat platform essentially, because they're trying to also do it where they're going to add in, using GIFs, emoji, really lengthy private messages, and also connect with like a group of people. So essentially, it's interesting. It almost kind of reminds me of like WhatsApp a little bit. That they might move towards something similar.
Yeah.
I mean, the benefit for you as a business owner is this: if somebody, make sure you have your direct messages notifications on first off, and then you can also, people will be able to message you as a business. So if they have some sort of customer service issue and so forth, instead of sending you a public tweet saying, hey, at Vincent, or like, I've got, I need help with this. And then having somebody say, oh, hey, send me a direct message or whatever. They can easily just tap the icon, start the direct message, and pull that conversation off of Twitter, which is what you should do if it's, a private conversation and you really don't want other people seeing that information. So really, really good. I'm again, I mean, that's big news to me, I think, for the week. Overall, it's great because if I'm a business now, I don't have to worry about, double check. I mean, I still should double check, but I don't have to worry about double checking if I wrote a direct message properly. Instead, I can go to, people can go to a tweet and immediately reach out to me. So anything else you want to add on that?
No, just it's the only thing I would add is that they just came out with that way to do the customer service thing too a couple weeks ago with the link. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this kind of seems similar.
Yep.
If for businesses. So I don't know what the advantages, disadvantages would be. The other one seems to stick around. It's because I tried it, and the other one, that customer service link that you put in a tweet, and it allows someone to just direct message the business
right
from the tweet. So it kind of guides people to take it offline.
Yeah.
If they have a question or even something negative to say, positive or negative, it guides them that way. Mm-hmm. This is similar, not the same.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's you're right. It's not exactly the same, but it's a very good thing to, definitely to know about. I mean, because, if you're not checking your direct messages, you could have a ton of direct messages in there and have missed out on some important questions and conversations and whatnot. Maybe somebody has a partnership they want to ask you about. Maybe somebody, has an issue with a product. Remember, if you're not checking that and somebody asks you that, and you give them a poor response or you don't respond at all, that's, that affects your customer service.
Yeah.
So this is really this is good news. So with that, you want to get in some tools?
Go for it.
Okay. Let me get let's see my links real quick. Okay, so tool number 1 for the week, and this is it's not terribly new, but it's new in the sense that it's a new app and a way for you as a business to manage your comments on your blog a lot easier. Basically, what the tool is, it's Disqus Comments. And anybody who has this on their blog, I mean, basically it lets you log in to Disqus. It lets you, if you have Disqus now on your blog or your website, it's easy for people to go and comment and sign in with their social profile or sign up with a Disqus account. It's a free tool. Very cool. And then you could also tie that, for instance, into a tool called Mentions. And so when somebody leaves a comment on your blog or any of that sort of stuff, you can get notified about that. So it's really, really, really handy. Free tool. Basically, what it's going to do, though, is if you have the mobile app now, so instead of having to go to, instead of having to get an email and wait to check that email, you can go right into here, see what comments are there, comment back, and so forth. So really, 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 really awesome. It's one of those things that has taken a while to kind of get out, but it's well worth it. So that's tool number 1 for the week.
I'll say that I definitely, for a while, I always pronounced it as Disqus.
I mean, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. So
no, you're right. I'm 99.9% sure you're right, because that's how I've been pronouncing it lately, because it makes sense. It's a chat or a commenting app. So I'm sure it's discussed. I'm just saying when I first started seeing it on websites, I was like, oh, discus. So stupid.
And I gotta say, so far, I mean, this app, it's got a 5-star review. I mean, it doesn't have a ton of ratings yet. Most people probably don't know about it yet, but I would recommend checking this out. I mean, it's nice. I think it's really nice because, hey, that's one less email that you can get. You can set it up to, tie your notifications into the Discuss app. And now you can easily go in and look at, all the activity that's going on. For example, I run a couple of blogs, and on all those blogs, I use Discuss. And the benefit now is that everything is all right there in my one account. I don't have to go to email and look at this thread and look at that one and so forth right there. And if your website is optimized for mobile, all of this stuff is going to work really well together.
And our friends at Social Media Examiner definitely have used Discuss on the site as long as I can remember. And yeah, just like you said, the emails, like you have to go back and you get an email notification if you have it set up. And then, or you have to go back and log into the website. And so this is a really good way to stay in contact with all those different sites that use it, that you may be commenting. It's going to foster more comments.
Absolutely. I think the other thing also about using a tool like this is, one, it's going to help make you more responsive. It won't make you more responsive, but it will put all that information out there so that you just have to you just have to act on it. So well worth checking out. Can't recommend it enough. I mean, I've been using this on my blog for however long time actually. And I mean, it's so much better than using the regular comments within, like, say, WordPress or trying to add another solution. It just works seamlessly across a number of different blogs or websites and whatnot. So be sure to check it out.
Smart move on there for it. I'm surprised it took this long.
I am too, actually. But and speaking to that, I mean, there's also another tool that I use. It's a writing app, and I won't mention it yet because it's not going to be out for a number of months. But they've said they're working on a mobile app, a mobile version of their app finally. And it's a tool that, I mean, if you're serious about writing, I mean, it's a very powerful tool. And now they're finally, literally people could just steal their thunder, and now they're just going to steal it right back. So we'll talk about that once that actually goes live. So tool number 2 today is a tool called Product Hunt. I'm going to let Vince talk about this one. I personally have not used it, but I love being able to learn about new things. So tell me about this one. What's it do?
Yeah. And well, have you ever been on their website?
I have not, actually.
Okay. So that's surprising to me, because now I'm wondering where you get all your cool tool info from.
A lot of that, I think, is actually just me keeping my ear to the ground on things. I mean, I don't get most of it from Facebook. I don't get hardly any of it from Twitter. I barely get any of it from social media. It's just, I guess it's, articles or whatever that I read.
Well, you're on top. I mean, I'm sure you have.
I love tools. I mean,
you have a lot of things set up, I'm sure, to notify you, but it's funny. I mean, not that Product Hunt doesn't just focus on like social media tools or anything, but something like, this is the first time I had ever heard of Product Hunt was a year ago. I don't think it's even much older than that, but roughly a year ago when Meerkat came out, and people were like, oh yeah, there's this thing that Product Hunt just put out called Meerkat that just notify people of his Meerkat. And so basically Product Hunt, it's actually a website. They have a mobile app, which you can get, which is really easy to use, looks great, really functional.
What's it do?
So what it's doing is if I go into the app, I go on the website.
Okay.
It's pulling up that, and it's constantly like updating and new things. It's really just a lot of different new types of things that come out. So one day, one of the things that was on there was the new Tesla. One day it was Meerkat.
Okay.
But there's not just one product. I mean, it's anything, really any new product of any sort.
Okay.
It goes up on there. There's tech. There's even new podcasts, new books. So Gary Vee's book was up on Product Hunt, and people can upvote it and comment on it. And then there's the link in there, takes you to where you can see it, buy it, whatever. So I'm just going to show you on the app. So today, April 7th, the thing that's got the most right now is the new Reddit app.
Right.
Right. So
I thought about covering that, but then I was like, nah.
Didn't even know Reddit finally has an app out, right? Another one like discuss Reddit. It's what app the app has not been what it should be. And the app what passed for the Reddit app was like the mobile site basically. So when you go on here, there's all types of new things that you can find. You don't know what it's going to be. So you're just kind of cycling through, and unofficial Snapchat button just came up. A button embed to promote your Snapchat account.
Do me a favor. Can you send me a link to that, by the way?
To Product Hunt or to that?
The Snapchat button, actually.
Snapchat button? Well, let's see. So when I open it up, I just click on it. Mm-hmm. It's opening. It's taking a second. And you have a profile on here. Right. When I open it up, it's got they've made a GIF. Mm-hmm. There's a Get It button.
Cool.
So if I click on Get It, usually that takes me to an affiliate link with Product Hunt for the actual product. Mm-hmm. Right. So then you just fill out whatever information they're asking for that particular thing.
Very cool.
And then there's comments, there's discussion. So there's a lot of it is questions or, hey, cool idea, but this is not working right. Or it's a lot of feedback. It's even a customer service aspect to it. That's for the tech products. That's where you see a lot of the newer things, like the new Tesla that came out. The podcast section, mm-hmm. You can, and these are things you can go in and you can create things.
Right.
So if you have a new product, you go in and you can put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I left that out, and that's probably a key.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So you go in and you can input, and you get to track your profile.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll tell you what things have been upvoted,
okay.
How many followers you have, what you've submitted, which I have 0. I don't have anything to put up there until I create like a podcast or something. But maybe in the future I would.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool way to find and stay on top of the newest, latest, and greatest if you're so inclined. I know there's a lot of people. It's kind of like the perfect tool for the shiny new thing syndrome, right? That's what everybody loves to call it.
And I will say, I mean, even though this thing is gonna, even though it's like shiny object syndrome, because you have all these new things. I think it's also really helpful because it helps you stay abreast of, what some of those new things are. I mean, so you don't miss out on them. I mean, because, I'm sure, for instance, Facebook Live video was probably on there a lot yesterday. Also, obviously, when they did the major announcement. So I would say it's a tool that you probably want to, test it out and set it up so that it sends you information on the things you're interested the most. I mean, that's probably the key thing is there could be too much, but you can also dial things back.
Yeah, and there's really something for everyone here. Mm-hmm. I'm just scrolling through, and so there's P and C. Mm-hmm. Lock your P's and see if you're hydrated.
Okay, hold on. Is that an app? Actually, I'd heard about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that is an app. And honestly, it sounds silly, but guess what? That actually has a health use.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
If you there's certain ailments that people have that they need to keep track of that.
Yeah. That's actually that's really smart. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but there's so much on here. I was just kind of cycling through it to see what's the Panama Papers mapped. So if you're up on what's going on with the news, the Panama Papers. Mm-hmm. Interactive mapped visualizations mm-hmm. of the Panama Papers, which just came out, and this is already a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's constantly new stuff on there. Anything new, like you said, like with Facebook Live video, it's going to get potentially put up there and kind of reviewed in a way and build awareness of it. So yeah, it's just more of like a fun thing. For most people, it's just more of a fun. If you take 5 minutes out of your day and go check it out, you'll find a couple things that will interest you I would guarantee it.
Very cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I'm actually really glad you shared that because that's the good thing about Blabs and us doing these sessions. I mean, we learn from one another. So
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that. It's a really good tool. We'll put that in the show notes. Sorry, in the blog post that's going to come through. So the last tool I have for today is a tool called My Permissions Privacy Cleaner, and this is actually pretty neat. Very neat little app. Again, we're talking a lot about apps today, I guess, but this is an app to let you take control of your social media channels. So, for example, you can log into this. You can see Facebook, Google Plus, Instagram, Twitter, there's Yahoo, Dropbox, and so forth. You can go in and see what else connected to your accounts, what's using your location, what's got access to your inbox and your contacts. You can also then go into each particular network, and there's a bunch of different ones obviously available here. But you can literally go through an entire list and see all the personal information that apps have access to. It also has some really neat notifications. So they basically send you a notification when something has access to your account. I like this. I mean, I think this is a very useful tool. I mean, it's a free tool, but I think it's a very useful tool because if I'm somebody that is, again, we're connecting all these apps, awesome. But what we don't, think about is, well, okay, we're connecting all these things and they all have access to our account. Well, this has access and that has access and that has access. So if there's ever a privacy issue, you can easily go in here, see what's there and decide if you want to trust it or disconnect it and so forth. You can literally see how granular things get. For example, in the screenshot they have here, it's got IFTTT, which we talked about last week. And it talks about how hey, they use your location, they access your inbox and your contacts, and they can see this particular list. And then here's the basic information that they require. For example, your events and timeline post and website and public profile, like things that they require for you to, for instance, connect Facebook and so forth with it. Mm-hmm. So very, very, very good tool. You should definitely check this out. If you're someone that, you've never checked out your privacy settings on your social media channels. So with that, do you have anything else for this week?
I do not.
Well, with that, let's wrap up this week's show. So we have, episode 31 next week, I think. Episode 31. And it's going to air next Thursday at 5 p.m. And you can subscribe to next week.
Oh, let's see. I was going to say that's right. And but then the next, I guess, man, I'm so off. Sorry. I was thinking social media marketing world. Yeah. Because usually it's the second half of the week. This year it's in the beginning of the week, and it's 2 weeks away anyway. So don't mind me.
No worries at all, man. I was actually already thinking. If you want to subscribe to next week's Blab, everyone, here's the links for that. We'll put that in here. And lastly, if you want to text Social Chatter to 33444, that's going to get you on the email list. The benefit to being on the email list is that you will be able to get notified before the show. I'll tell you, I'll give you a link to last week's episode, basically the blog recap and everything, all the tools and the topics we talked about. I'll also give you a preview of what the topics are we're going to talk about. And I'm also going to give you, what else? We're going to give you a link to last week's show. We'll give you a link to, all the tools, all the topics. I know what it is. We're also going to promote some additional tools and some articles that we think that, might be useful to you as a business owner, as you're looking to grow your business and get more efficient with it. So with that, I want to say thank you very much, Vincent. Thanks for joining again. Awesome.
Thank you.
And everybody, we will have a blog post out on this tomorrow with the recap of everything. So with that, I'm Christian Karasevich. Want to say thanks a lot for joining us on Social Chatter. Vincent, been a pleasure.
As always.
We'll chat online.
Yes. See you next week.
Awesome, man. Thanks.